Hey YouTubers, welcome back. Today I'm going to be reinstalling the auger impeller bushing on the Toro Snowblower. I've got the new part and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now here's the new bushing. It's part number 12-8729. You can also buy these from a rotary dealer, which are aftermarket and much cheaper. Now on the bushing plate that I took off the blower, you can see that part of the old bushing here is stuck on one of the plates. So I'm going to have to remove it from this plate here. So I'm just going to have to bend this back in and pull it out. So I've put it in a vise like that. It doesn't matter if I damage the bottom part because that's coming out anyways. Now I'm just going to pound it out with a small chisel. And do this all the way around. Now you can pry it underneath and the plate's going to come off. So what you're going to be left with in the vise is the old bushing shell. And here's the new bushing. It's going to go inside there. And then the part we took the old bushing out goes on the other side so you can see the bushing is nice and secure in there. So now before you go to reinstall the bushing and the plates, you have to have your 3 carriage bolts in these holes here. One here, one there, and one there. So obviously it's going to be hard to hold these in place there while you put the bushing back. So grab some regular wheel bearing grease like this. Dip it in there so you get grease on the carriage bolt. Then insert the carriage bolt in its place and pull up, and the grease is going to hold your bolt, at least for now. And do the same thing all around. So now I've got the 3 carriage bolts there. Now you want to insert the bushing flange that's got the shorter side here face down like that. So line it up in the carriage bolts like that. Now before I put the bushing on, I'm going to put some low temp grease there. So basically low temp grease isn't going to harden up in the winter months. Now I'm going to insert the bushing this side down. You may have to turn it a bit. And now you want to center the whole thing by moving it and putting the bushing right in the center there. Just like that. Now put the other bushing plate on there. Just be careful not to knock down the carriage bolts. Now put the nuts on as quick as you can. Don't push down on the bolts. I'll grab a 1/2-inch socket and tighten up the bolts. Make sure that the bolts are in their proper spots. You may have to pull them up. If you find that the bolts turn in the void, you can pull on the bushing flange and that's going to lock them in on the back. Now tighten them up evenly all around. Now there's a thin washer that goes over here like that. Now when I took the keyway off earlier, I had to chisel it out a bit, so I've damaged it a bit. What I'm going to do to repair that is put it in the vise and just file it off. So I'll do that side first. Don't tighten it too much because you don't want to make the key bigger. Now I'm just going to grab a flat file and file it down evenly. Now I'm going to repeat the process on all sides. Now I've got my keyway ready to go in. Before I insert the keyway, I'm going to put some anti-seize. This one's got a bit of copper in it. This will prevent your pulley from seizing on the shaft. Now insert the key into the hole and tap it in there. Now the key will only go in so far because it's got a little lip at each end of it, stopping it from going in too deep. So now we're ready to put the pulley back on. Now here's that nice weld that the guy did the other day on the last video. Now what you got to do is line up the keyhole here to the key on the shaft, and the side of the pulley with the bolts go face down. That's how it was when I took it off. So I'll line it up from the top here. Now it's down, it's in the right place. You may have to tap it a bit just to get the pulley down a bit more. And that's how it was before. So now I'm just going to tighten up the little bolts down there. So I'm going to reach in there with an 8mm wrench and turn them. Don't forget that there's a second one here. Now to make sure these bolts are tight, I'm going to grab them with pliers and turn the wrench. And I'll do that on both to make sure they're really tight. Once you've got these tightened up, the pulley is pretty good on there. And as you can see, it's not loose anymore. It's nice and firm, and that's going to be a lot more smooth.